Peace, guys. It's your boy Ewood Andy Star, host of the Dynex podcast. And I gotta change this up here. Always do that to myself, man. But anyway, we're going live in a few minutes, man. We're gonna be talking about the Chris Paul rumors and stuff. So thank you for being up with me at 10 o'clock, man. This is how we do it now on this insomnia tip, man. So let's just get it started. Yeah, man. So the major rumors right now it has to do with Chris Paul. Chris Paul has been on the tip of everybody's tongue for like the last few months now. So my question, I've talked about it before. My question for fans out there that are still talking about it because Twitter's going crazy. They're talking about various different things, but Chris Paul is at the tip of everybody's tongue. My thing is like, when do we break the chain of the past? You know what I'm saying? Because it's not like Chris Paul is making like 20 something million a year. Because I know we made a big deal about Julius Randle that he makes what 19 a year. It's gonna gradually go up to like into like the beginning of the 20s, but he's not making a shitload of money. But people make such a big deal about the amount of money that he's making and all the money that we gave to Bobby Portis and all these other guys that we had to pay because we had the cap space. You can't just not use the cap space. You have to use 90% of it. So anyway, everyone was crying about all the money that we gave that Tim Hardaway Jr. But I mean, but look at all the money that Chris Paul makes. Chris Paul makes more than twice than Julius Randle. So this is the type of guy that they were going to get. We can't just pick him up. You know what I'm saying? We can't just grab him off the street. Okay, now we got Chris Paul. We have to give up something. Now, what is OKC going to take? Now, I know they just want to get rid of his salary because any team in their right mind will be trying to get rid of Chris Paul's salary. So the only team really that can take all that salary in, is the Knicks. Now, who are we going to give up? Now, in order to get this salary cap, as you should know, is that we have to renounce all of these guys that we signed to these 2-year contracts. We signed them for one and a possible contract. So the second year is not guaranteed on all the guys that we signed last year except Julius Randle. So I mean, we're talking about Bobby Portis, Wayne Ellington, all these different guys that we signed. Even Harkless that we got in the trade. Harkless, he's done after this season is officially over. You know what I'm saying? So all these different guys here. So people are talking about trading some of those guys for Chris Paul. It doesn't really matter if we trade them a player or just renounce them and then just take on the salary. OKC is going to want something. So you're going to talk about Kevin Knox, whoever else, Frank Ntilikina is on there, DSJ. Are these worthy trading pieces to get Chris Paul? If I'm OKC, I would laugh in the Knicks' face, even though I'm trying to get rid of his salary. It's not like Chris Paul is hurting the team. Chris Paul has been leading them to the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? So they're prepared to go into next season with Chris Paul as a starting point guard. So there's no sweat off their back either. So whether or not you believe the Knicks have the leverage because we're the ones that have to make the trade and they have to take it or leave it. But OKC could just leave it because they're not losing anything by having Chris Paul. You know what I'm saying? So we have no leverage in that scenario. So the thing is, what do we get to get Chris Paul? Only thing that we have of value really is the draft picks. Because like I said, Bobby Portis and whatever, we could renounce him, and then some kind of way OKC could work it out where they can sign Bobby Portis after we renounce him. So making a trade for him is not really doing nothing for them, And you can also find talent of Bobby Portis's caliber on the free agent market anyway, So it's just an endless circle of nonsense. So the elephant in the room now with that whole scenario is whether or not we're going to give up our assets. Now we have extra assets with Dallas. We have the draft picks and stuff like that. But are we giving away draft picks for Chris Paul? This is the same skeletons in the closet, the sins of the past. We've given up plenty of assets in the past to get old people. I'm like one person is in my mind now is like Jalen Rose. We had Jalen Rose on the roster. Did you know we had Tracy McGrady, excuse me, on the roster? You can just go down the line. There's so many different players that we had, so many bad decisions that we made throughout the years that it doesn't make any sense. Here's another person, McDice. We traded McDice for Camby and a first round draft pick. All right, this is basically the same type of situation. But at the same time, McDice was still young, but he was just coming off a knee surgery, super knee surgery. He didn't even play the year before, so he blew his knee out. And then we ended up trading Cammy, who was still a good player, and we ended up trading a pick that ended up being Nene. a basketball player that ended up playing a lot of years in the NBA, and he actually had a productive career as well. You know what I'm saying? So, are we going to do the same thing? Are we going to trade some assets, whatever, to get to Chris Paul, only for Chris Paul to come here and possibly get hurt? Like if you're gonna have a guy like that, okay, he's supposed to nurture the youth, but we have coaches for that. We just hired a whole bunch of developmental coaches. We have a front office that's specialized in roster building and developmental things. You know what I'm saying? So the whole Knicks organization is built to develop. So what the hell do we need Chris Paul for? You know what I'm saying? What we need Chris Paul for, that's why everybody keeps talking about it, is this whole savior complex. The savior complex also always starts with the media because the media is the one that starts these rumors and gets all the Knicks fans stirred up. Now, look, oh, we're going to get Chris Paul. We're going to get Chris Paul. What you think about getting Chris Paul? Yo, I'm telling you right now, we do not need Chris Paul. We have Kenny Payne working with our big man. We have my man Bryant from Utah working with the guards and stuff like that. Uh, you know, uh, Woodson is there. Woodson has experience. Tom Thibodeau, for Christ's sake. We have all these different coaches. Of course, I'm missing some of them. They have that Asian dude that I have to learn his name, but he's also awesome. I've seen him in plenty of times out there in social media and even on television working with guys and stuff like that. So I mean, we have a good staff. We have a good developmental staff. So what do we need Chris Paul for? You know what I'm saying? You have Chris Paul because he's going to teach the young guys. Chris Paul's still going to get minutes. He's still averaging 17, 5 and 6. He's not getting the gaudy numbers he was getting before, but he's still getting good numbers. And he's not going to come here. Well, he has no choice. That's one thing too. He has no choice to whether or not he can come here or not. But if he comes here, he's not gonna be content with sitting on the bench. He still has something in the tank. You know what I'm saying? Once you stop using it, you lose it. So I'm quite sure he's gonna want to play, especially if he's healthy. What I'm saying? Especially if he's busting these young guys' ass in practice, he's not going to be taking a back seat to them and letting them play, and he's going to play little spot minutes or whatever. What kind of way is that to end a person's career, especially when you're still playing at the top of your game? It's just nonsense to me. It's just something that just doesn't make sense, and any way that you look at it. Now here's another person I'm going to throw out there. Fred Van Vliet. It's FVV. I always say Fleet. You know what I'm saying? But it's Fred Van Fleet, right? Everybody, nobody wants him. Nobody wants him when you're talking on Twitter or whatever. Nobody wants Fred Van Vliet. They're looking at him. They're saying that he's slow. He can't get to the basket. This and the other. But he could shoot the three, right? So I mean, everyone that I'm going to talk about in this podcast is going to be people that can shoot the three. So that's the only thing that anyone seems to care about. And Fred Van Fleet is one of the better 3-point shooters in the whole freaking NBA at his position. You know what I'm saying? He shoots a lot of them, number one. And then they want to say, oh, it was the system that he played in Toronto. He played with this person. He played with that person. He was on a good team. That's why he won a championship. He was on a championship caliber team. That's why he won the championship. It's not because he didn't play well because of the system. He played well because he is a good player, and all the rest of the players around him are good too. That's why they won. Even when they lost Kawhi Leonard in the offseason, they still made the playoffs. And they still threatened to get to the finals again. They still were a good team. They were a team that were injured because they had other players that could step in. But those guys didn't get healthy till basically the playoffs started. So let's say if those guys would have gotten healthy, maybe they would have built up momentum to even go even further, maybe even get to the finals instead of Miami. They had the potential to do that, And you can't just dismiss somebody like Fred Van Vliet because as a starter, he's too is averaging 17, 5, and 6, something like that. And his 3-point percentage and shooting percentage numbers rival Chris Paul's as well. So you're looking at a dude that's younger that he's gonna be a part of the plans going forward, and a guy that's like 30, like closer to 40 than he is to 30. And we would rather have him. Why? Because he's gonna teach the kids. I mean, Chris Paul's never won a championship. You know what I'm saying? Chris Paul's never won a championship. Fred Van Fleet has, and Chris Paul's playing on plenty of teams with plenty of talent, and he was never able to get them over the hump. He had great coaching, Doc Rivers and stuff like that too when he was with the Clippers. He's had plenty of situations where he had talent around him. Look at Houston, they weren't able to take it to the next level. You know what I'm saying? So who is that a reflection on? Do you want a guy that's never won, or do you want a guy that's won? You know what I'm saying? Who could teach you more? Someone that's actually won a championship or just someone that's just like the master of the regular season? That's something for Ali, for you fans to figure out, because I mean, it's kind of annoying to constantly keep talking about it, right? But Fred Van Fleet, he's not going to command 40 something mil. We're out there talking about 18, 18, 19, 20 mil, which is probably lowballing. The guy's probably going to get like closer to 25 mil, you know. So you want to say between 18 and 25 mil, somewhere in between there he's gonna get. And it's gonna be fair. Look what Randall's making. Randall's making, like I said, 19, 20 mil. That's his range too. Fred VanVleet is around that number. So the Knicks have like 40 something mil, so we can afford that. It's not like it's gonna break the bank. If we let's say if we was to sign him to like maybe like a 2-and-1 contract just to match on Julius Randle's contract, then that's good. We got a starting caliber point guard to work with the guys that we currently have. Once again, we getting rid of Alfred Payton. We already got rid of one of the point guards with the trade for Jared Harper. So Jared Harper's there also. He's gonna end up being either in the G League or our third string. Then we still got DSJ in the mix. GSJ might end up being traded, and then Frank Ntilikina, I don't even count him as a point guard at this point. He's going to have to be a utility guy because he has yet to take himself to the next level. And maybe it might even make sense to put Frank Ntilikina at the 2 guard next to Fred VanVleet. That gives you another option as well. So and then you move in RJ to the 3. So these are a lot of different things to think about here. But I mean, Fred VanVleet won't break the bank. And we'll still have 20 something $million to play with to add even another player. You know what I'm saying? So you go from, okay, we're developing the youth because that's what we're still going to be doing without even trading any assets. That's number one. We don't need Chris Paul. We don't need to trade our assets to get Chris Paul. We can get Fred VanVleet. You know what I'm saying? So if we was to do that without trading our assets, so then we'll be able to develop our youth the way we need to, and still toy with being in the playoffs with a starting caliber point guard that can get you 17, 6, and 5 and 6 or whatever you think. And he's getting like 2 steals a game. So it's not like he's not playing defense. So I mean, we have an anchor at the power forward, whatever you want to say about Julius Randle. He's still one of the better power forwards in the NBA, when he's used properly. If he was to sign Fred VanVleet, we'll have a starting caliber point guard. You put Frank Ntilikina next to him. Hopefully, Frank Ntilikina gets his shit together. Having him at the 2 guard spot, that's gonna negate whatever defensive problems you think you might have from Fred VanVleet. Even though he averages 2 steals a game, so he's doing some kind of defense. So I mean, you're set in there, and then you got RJ at the 3, and then Mitchell Robinson at the 5. So you actually have a decent starting 5 right there. And then you still have $20 million to spend. You know what I'm saying? So what's the problem? I don't understand what the problem is with that whole argument. I still have a lot of different guys to go here, but that's something that has to do with Chris Paul. Another guy that's been talked about out there is Victor Oladipo. All right, I'm gonna keep it short with this, man. Victor Oladipo, I believe, is like 27 years old. He just came off of like a horrific injury. Was it his Achilles or his knee or whatever? I don't even know what the injury was. All I know is that he didn't play last year. He didn't play well enough to elevate himself back up to the level that he was before the injury. At least not yet. He hasn't had a chance to do it. We've seen that before. Like I just mentioned McDyess. We just had McDyess. So I mean, it's just a sins of the past. A guy like that. Okay, cool. Yeah, he did have a great season one year with Indiana, where he just broke out. And and if he was to get that type of player on the Knicks, that would be great as well. And quiet as kept, if we was to sign like a Fred VanVleet, we still have all our assets to make that trade to get Victor Oladipo. You know what I'm saying? So check that out. Julius Randle, RJ Barrett, Mitchell Robinson, Fred VanVleet, and then you make the trade to get Victor Oladipo. Is that a playoff team or what? You know what I'm saying? But these are plethora of moves that everyone's like crying about. Oh, don't do that. I don't. You're like, what do you guys want? You just want to continue to do what we used to do back in the days? Like the last 15 years, everyone, it's a laughing stock, right? Oh, the Knicks, this, that, and the other haven't won, and this, that, and the other. They keep doing stupid moves, whatever. But here it is, 2020, and everybody still wants to do stupid moves. So anyway, let's just go on what I'm going to say about Victor Oladipo. 27 years old. Okay, what are we going to do? He's going to be a free agent next year. What are we going to do? Resign him to like a X amount of contract? So we're going to have a guy up into his 30s, and he just had a horrific injury. Enough of Victor Oladipo, and plus we got to give up assets to get him. Here goes a guy that's on the tip of everybody's tongue too. Buddy Hield. Everyone keeps talking about Buddy Hield like nobody else knows about Buddy Hield. Like he's supposed to be some kind of like a diamond in the rough that nobody heard of. Oh, the Knicks got to get Buddy Hield because that boy can shoot. Yeah, I seen him do this. I mean, anybody can see anybody play, man. Like it's not a secret. It's the internet. Everybody has the internet. Everybody that loves basketball follows the NBA, and it's not like no big secret of what Buddy Hield can do. But the other side of that whole story is of the problems that Buddy Hield has had his whole career off the court. That's no here nor there. If you're having problems in Sacramento, whatever the things that you're doing, you're gonna have problems in New York City with everything that's happening here. You know what I'm saying? So is the guy like driven to play basketball, or is the guy just driven to just get his shit off? That's something that I don't want to know, and because we're gonna have to get assets to get him. Now check this. They have a guy Badagan, whatever, Rachmanov, whatever. I can't pronounce the guy's name, but he's a young guy that's over there. He's not really young. He's basically the same age, about to be 27 as well. But he's still on his rookie scale contract, and he's actually a restricted free agent, and he jumped ahead of Buddy Hield into the starting lineup because of everything that's been going on with Buddy Hield. He's a chucker, number one. So Luke Walton put him off the bench to try to offset some of that stuff, and of course he fought him over it. You know what I'm saying? There was a lot of drama with him being a backup, to the other dude. But the other kid is good too. You know what I'm saying? So Sacramento already has it that they're probably going to sign Bogan, whatever his name, Bodigan, whatever his name is. They're probably going to end up signing him, and then now Buddy Hield is definitely going to be on the trading block. So I would rather another team give up their assets to get a guy named Buddy Hield, because I mean, but even though Buddy Hield could shoot the three, his field goal percentage is still like 43%. So if the guy is shooting 40% from three and shooting 43% from the field, that to me doesn't really sound like a good player. It sounds like a trucker. A lot of these guys can shoot the three. Okay, shooting the three is such a great asset in this NBA that people lose their mind and forget about everything else that has to do with basketball. So anyway, Buddy Hield is 6'4". He's also a short shooting guard, same as Oladipo. Not that I mentioned 6'4". They both 6'4". So if you want to talk about players that are at that height. Why give up so many assets to get them? Now we're just talking about 3-point shooting, right? Everybody just wants 3-point shooting. How about some what do you call experience? I'm gonna throw a name out there just for shits and giggles. Jordan Clarkson. Now a lot of people are gonna laugh about that, but Jordan Clarkson has been putting up numbers, even coming off the bench when he was with Cleveland, and then when he went to his other team, because he got traded so many times. I'm not. I mean, I could just pull it up now, but I'm not going to. Jordan Clarkson's been everywhere. The Lakers. He's played with, everybody. He's played with everybody. He has a bunch of experience, and the dude is still not even 30 yet. He's still around the same age, 27 years old, around there. So why would we give up all these assets to get a player that if Jordan Clarkson was to get the minutes, he would average like 20 something points a game as well. Because he's always been getting 20 something minutes, whatever, for whatever reason. I don't know what the reason is. All I know is that Jordan Clarkson constantly busts the Knicks ass, and every time I see him play anywhere else, he's playing well. So I mean, I don't understand why he's not getting his 30 something minutes again. Why he isn't starting, or why isn't he a part of a winning situation? But we can just sign a guy like Jordan Clarkson, not for 20 mil. Somebody like Jordan Clarkson probably going to end up getting 10 mil. Maybe 15 mil. That's the most that Jordan Clarkson is going to get. Even though he's been productive scoring wise in his NBA career, I would rather pay him 10 million to 15 million than have to worry about a dude like Buddy Hield that's entering the contract that he signed that he's making like 20 to 25, what is it, like 24 mil for his first year. I mean, what are we doing here? We're going to give up our assets and ruin our cap space for the next 4 years for a dude that's going to be 31 at the end of his contract. And he has an attitude, and we don't know how he's going to work when in like a winning situation, because he hasn't won. You know what I'm saying? So I would rather spend 10, 15 million on Jordan Clarkson. I mean, to me, it's just elementary. Here's another guy that I'll throw out there. Malik Beasley. Okay, Malik Beasley has been under the radar for the last few years. He was on Denver. He was like a scoring guy off the bench in Denver, but Denver's always had a team that has so many different players on their team that could score, they could do all kind of things, right? But Michael Beasley is the same 6'4" that Victor Oladipo is, same 6'4" that Buddy Hield is, and he shoots the three just as well as both of those guys, if not better than Victor Oladipo. Now he's still 6'4", but he also is a little bit light. He's like 185 the last time I checked. Like I said, I could put it up on the screen for the guys that are watching live, but I'm not gonna do that. It's something that you can research on your own when you get a chance. Just look up Malik Beasley. What has he been doing his whole career? Like I say, he's been coming off bench, but he did get traded to Minnesota. What did he do when he got to Minnesota? He averaged 20 points a game when he was in Minnesota. I got a chance to watch a few of those games, just because, the league pass was on. They were giving it for free for a little while and whatever. And I have my own little resources as well that I was able to watch a lot of these little like games just to see who's out there. And I was curious to see what was going on with Malik Beasley. Is he for real? And yes, he is for real. The guy's shooting threes at the same clip as Buddy Hield and everything. The only thing that I could say is when he was with Minnesota is that his assists were kind of down. He's still only averaging about 2 assists, but still 5 rebounds. He's up there in the 5 rebound range, and he's averaging, like I said, a little over 2 assists per game usually. But when he was in Minnesota, he was only averaging above 1, maybe like 1.8 assists a game. So that's kind of alarming to me. But I mean, the guy could jump just as high as any of these other guys. And he could shoot just as good as any of these other guys too. And on the flip side, this guy's only gonna make $10 million a year, not even 15, possibly 15 because of what he did in Minnesota, 20 points a game. So I mean, somebody's gonna give him something, and Knicks got extra money, so 10 to 15 is not something that's gonna break the bank, because we'll still have 30 to 25 $1 million left after that. So I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer. If you're gonna get a player of that caliber, that's gonna that you need really a scorer. You need a scorer that's gonna be able to shoot the three. Instead of giving up assets to get Buddy Hield and Victor Oladipo, guys that have attitude problems, and guys that are just coming off of injuries and stuff like that, and these guys already think that they're stars. Give it to Malik Beasley, somebody that's hungry. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, 185. Buddy Hield is like 220. Victor Oladipo is about 220 as well. You know what I'm saying? You're giving up a lot of weight, like what, like damn near 40 pounds you're giving up with this dude. But I mean, if you watch the clips of this guy, it doesn't seem to bother him. He's still putting up his numbers against decent competition when he was with Minnesota. So anyway, that's just a thought, because I don't hear nobody talking about Malik Beasley. If I'm the first one that you've heard it, let me know in the chats or whatever. So there you go, man. So those are a couple of guys, whatever. So I like I mentioned in these guys here, the only person that you've been hearing connected to the Knicks is a guy that we've already had, and he's been in the rumor mill again for the Knicks for like the last few years anyway, ever since we got rid of him, which is Justin Holiday. All because he shoots the three. Oh, I'm sorry, and he plays defense as well. I mean, we can't just have like a team full of guys that just shoot the three and play defense. There's like a whole game out there. It's not only about hitting the open three, the corner three. Oh, you gotta hit the corner three. It's the most important shot in basketball. Like whatever, man. There's a whole 90-something feet of basketball. There's a whole bunch of different positions that you still gotta be able to play the game of basketball. The reason why he's not on the Knicks, and the reason why that he's still floating around, he was with the Bulls and he was with some other teams, whatever, is because he's just a 3-and-D guy. He's a dime a dozen player. You know what I'm saying? Like Jordan Clarkson. I just mentioned Jordan Clarkson. He's better than Justin Holiday. Malik Beasley. Malik Beasley is better than Justin Holiday. But that's the only person that we hear in all these rumors is freaking Justin Holiday. We just had him. He's 6 foot, but he doesn't play. He's 6'6". He doesn't play up to his height. He looks long, whatever, but he doesn't play long. Pause. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, that height doesn't really mean anything. And like I can't even remember the last time I seen him lock up anybody that I can remember. So I mean, it's just just a bunch of different names to just throw out there, man. So what are we doing here, man? This is the Knicks. This is the Knicks. We've been through it all. We've seen so many different things in our lifetime, and I've seen so many things in my lifetime. Like fans of the show already know, I go back as far as Bernard King when I was a little kid. And I remember that, and I remember basically everything after that, because after they traded Bernard King, I cried. I remember I cried because I was a little guy, so I cried when they traded him. It's like, what does that mean, trade? So just being involved with that. Then right after that, they traded Rod Strickland. So I'm like, wait a second. I'm a little bit older now. I can read and stuff on my own. I can get the paper. Excuse me. I can watch the news and stuff like that. I'm starting to understand shit. So from that point on, I was hooked on the science of this whole NBA stuff, the free agency and all this other stuff. I was hooked on it. I've since that era, that little piece of time when I was a kid, I've that's just my era right there. I have a lot of experience, but we've been through so much, man. So many different trades, so many bad trades, so many bad signings and stuff like that. I've seen it all. So everything happening now is nothing new, and it's not something to get upset about, because truthfully, right now this is the best time to be a Knicks fan. Like, there's so much arguing going on, especially on Twitter. And then, just in general, Knicks fans in general, they see you with a Knicks hat, they start just wrecking you about, nonsense, whatever. There's so much going on that has been going on in Knicks history, right now this is like the best time ever right now, because we have young guys that are good. Mitchell Robinson, RJ Barrett, a couple other guys, and we got draft picks coming and whatever, and then next year's draft we got extra draft picks. So we got like all this stuff coming in, and on top of that we still got cap space, and we're signing guys up until this point that hasn't broke the bank, where we can't maneuver guys. You know what I'm saying? So uh let's wake up a little bit. Everyone is arguing about Chris Paul. Everyone is arguing about Victor Oladipo, Buddy Hield, and all this other stuff. Get off it, okay? We're not trading like, at least I want to think that we're not going to trade any draft picks for none of these fucking guys. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to waste cap space on these fucking guys. You know what I'm saying? We're going to keep flexibility within the cap, and we're going to keep flexibility with our draft picks. Because we already built an environment that's going to nourish young people. We have, like, on the pro level now, I'm talking about the NBA. We got all these developmental coaches on the front office. We just got all these young guys that are known for developing rosters, building rosters. You know what I'm saying? This is what we have in the coaching staff in the front office. Don't forget about the G League. We have one of the better G League systems the last few years than the whole NBA. It hasn't produced a championship over there, but who gives a fuck about a G League championship? It's all about developing players. Mike Miller did a fantastic job over there, and the coach that was before him did a decent job as well. We've always had a strong G League team. We always managed to get different guys. We had I could just go down the line. We had a bunch of different guys that we've gotten over the years that's been successful and gone on to the NBA and extended their careers or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think that's gonna change. Speaking of the G League, we got Iggy Bragzikas. He's over there, and he was averaging 20 something a game, and I expect him this year to come up with all the guys that we're gonna lose. To get this cap space, I expect him to do well, and that's a product of our development. You have to give us credit with something. You know what I'm saying? So anyway. This has been Ebru, the Andy Star, host of the Dynamics podcast. Since we're going live here, let me take a look at Sportscaster, see what's going on over here. I see I have a tip here. Got 50 tickets from March and let me get his name properly here. It's March and Champ. He sent me he or she, because I can't really see the picture there. He sent me 50 tickets. Thank you very much. Shout out to Jimmy. Jimmy Martin started following me. We got Lou Boogie is taking a look here. Like I said, I can't see the pictures, so shout out to you guys. Dirty Doorman is taking a look too. What's up, my man? That's my man, Dirty Doorman. If you guys like podcasts, man, he has a podcast called the Nebuchadnezzar podcast, which is you could just imagine they're talking about a whole bunch of stuff there, from psychedelics to religion to just life in general. So if you get a chance on audio platforms, check that out, and they should be going on YouTube reposting their stuff as well. So shout out to my guy, Dirty Doorman with the Nebuchadnezzar podcast. Shout out to his guy too. I can't get his name, but I'm thinking of John Ramos. That's his name. Forgive me if I forget it, man, because I'm kind of just, how I do it. I'm just kind of freestyling this whole thing. But anyway, this has been Ebru, the Andy Star, host of the Dynamics podcast. As we do on the show, put 4 fingers to the forehead, tuck in your thumb, salute. See you guys on the next one, and thank you for tuning in. And just look for more Dynamics podcasts. Probably late like this, like I've been doing, man. 10:30. It's kind of late to be doing podcasts, but hey, Somebody's always up, man. Like, as they say, like there's always 5 o'clock somewhere. Anyway, let me take a drink. There's no alcohol in there, man. All right, y'all. Peace. See you guys on the next one.